Hi guys, this is Addison at Fort Stewart, and this is news video number 3. So if you have not watched the other videos, definitely go watch those first before we start doing this. So I just wanted to talk about a couple of things. The first one is like the news home design. Now, a lot of people really have asked me about my here. Let me show you my banner right here on the front line. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I do that. Okay, so I'm in edit mode and I go to add comment, content, and I click on image. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right here in the page header. Okay, and we wait, and I'm going to choose my image. And then let me grab my banner. Now, if you're wondering, so most of my banners are 11. Hold on, what is it? 1100 by 100 or 1100 by 150. It just kind of depends on what you like, you know. But make sure you upload it as a JPEG. You're not going to want to upload a big image like that. That's a PNG. Definitely you're not going to want to do that. And I'm not going to have it be a link or anything. It's just going to be a banner, and I'm going to call it Frontline News. Okay, and I'm going to add it. Ooh, pretty. Now, here's the thing, guys. So I don't want this to show in mobile because I want the page to load faster. So instead, so when someone views this on their phone, I don't want them to see this. I only want them to see the regular text title. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my title. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hide this when people aren't looking on their phone. Okay. So you go to the magic wand. Okay. And I want to hide this in desktop, smaller desktop, and on tablet. Okay. That's what these three are. So you can see it, I can still see it in mobile. All right. But I'm going to hide it in these three. Okay. Now for this, I'm going to hide this in mobile. So I go to my magic wand and I say, don't show this in cell phones. Okay. We save that. Okay. Now, another thing that you guys might like, and I think is nice. So, you know, I've got my core news feed here, but if I don't have that, that's fine. But something that's like horizontal right here will look really nice to break up all of your page lists. So like to give you an example here, let me throw some page lists on here really quick. Cause you're just going to have a lot of text, right? So I'm just going to do all beneath this page, you know, okay. You know, so I've got like the list and stuff like that. And so we've got a lot of text. And I would suggest putting either your core news feed here that has a lot of photos, or, you know, putting like a whale owl carousel here that shows, you know, maybe like, I'd say 4 or 5 photos right here, like your best photos or something like that. That would be cool. So to just give you an idea. So that's the banner. That's how you hide it. So if you publish it, let me show you what it looks like. Okay. I feel like sometimes I hold my breath while it does that, while it loads. Okay. All right. So we watch, and then it goes away. Okay. That's what I want. I want that. Okay. Now, another thing is that sometimes you might want a spacer in between. You know, like here, if you wanted a spacer right here, you know, probably like 30 pixels. I would also hide that in mobile because, I mean, you don't need it unless you've got the photo there. But see, this is all, we're all good here. Okay. So that's totally up to you guys, just to think about it and think about the way, you're organizing everything. Now, the last thing I want to show you guys. Okay, so, like I said, your news is going to, like, add to your pages really quickly, okay? And it's gonna get big fast. But I will tell you that, I mean, our news is definitely one of the most popular features on our website. And it also, well, not only is it usually a landing page, but it's also something that actually targets our older users as well. I feel like, my main audience for my website would be newer soldiers. And according to my analytics, the bulk of my users are between the ages of 24 and I think 35, 34, something like that. So I feel like it's really nice to have something there for older users. And they even told me in my usability testing, they said, hey, like, I feel like news is for me and I really like news. So, okay. So, sorry, sidebar. Your sitemap's going to get big. Okay. So now this is what you need to do. Google and Bing and all these things, they look for a sitemap file, okay, in your website. And so what you need to do, I do this every Friday, and I just have a little, reminder on my Outlook to do it. But whenever you want, like if you upload news stories monthly, then do this monthly. But if you upload them weekly, like we do, I do this weekly, you need to go to System Settings, Automated Jobs. It's under Optimization. And then you see this generate sitemap.xml file. I want you to run that. Okay. Now, you can, like, automate the job and to run all the time, but, like, I feel like, I don't know, it's kind of fussy sometimes. So I don't know, and I like to click the button. Because I also like to see how many pages I have. So you've generated this sitemap.xml file, and the search engines will crawl that. They'll look for it. And so every time you update your pages and have new pages, go ahead and run this, because Google's looking for this, and it reads it. It'll also tell you how many pages you have. Like I've got, I guess the IEW development site's got 51 pages. Yeah, I have 500 pages on the Fort Stewart website. So that just gives you an idea. And we've only been, I can't remember how long we've had news, but okay. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else I was supposed to do to tell you. Add core. Oh yes, this is what I want to show you. Another thing people asked me about. Let me see. Okay, so on the actual news pages, right? So first of all, we've got all this going, right? And you see how like this is empty. So this can be whatever you want. Like I have more news here, and I, like just to keep the user flow going. Like here's more cool stuff. But you don't have that because we don't know what you want. So let's say that instead of more news here, you want it to say community news, or you want to highlight your commander's corner. And basically it would be a page list, but what you would do is you would, call Shelby or Jim or something and say, hey, on all of my news stories, I want to show a page list of all of my stories here. Or I always want to show the latest community stories or whatever. You can change that. You just call them and ask them to do that. For right now, though, you can add it yourself. But, I mean, you're not going to want to add it yourself every single time. So what you can do is, I'm just going to delete this for right now. Because that's in the composer. That's all different. And unfortunately, you can't edit the composer. But I'll add a page list now. While I'm waiting for Shelby to fix it for me and all that kind of stuff. And I say, okay, I'm going to show them more news. And I'm waiting. Let's just show 5 for right now. It's a pretty long page. We'll show news stories. Let's do more news. How about health? People like health, right? Sure. And then I want it after today. Well, actually, no, I don't. I don't want to show all. Okay. No, everywhere. Sorry. Most recently modified first. Page name, page description. Yes. Truncate it at 150. Include the date. Nah, I'm not going to do a thumbnail image for this one. Maybe later. Okay. Wonder why that's doing that. I'll look into that, guys. Okay. So either way, it's probably wanting me to fix that in the composer. So we can do that later. Okay. Also, I want to tell you, like, let's say you have, this one big photo and then you've got the story. You can add more photos down here. So you can, click here. You can, add more text. You can add an image right here. There's nothing telling you don't have to do that. And it's totally not going to mess anything up. If I were you, I would split up the main. Like, let's say I had 2 images. So I'd say, okay, I'm going to show 2 more images down here. I'm going to split it up into columns because it looks pretty. And I'm going to show my cat. Of course, I'm adding alternate text, guys. And then I'm going to show... What else do I got here? Let's see. Got a picture here. Okay. All right, so those are going to show up. The only thing we want to do now is when someone, right now it's all spaced out in desktop, but when someone views it in mobile, this will touch that. So I'm going to add a 20 pixel spacer underneath that one. And I'm going to put a 20 pixel spacer underneath that. Okay. And so that way, let me publish the page so you can see it. Okay. So this is what they see in mobile. All right. They've got the story and all that kind of stuff. You can also add the photos in here to break it up. It's totally up to you. But you see how there's a space between the little cat and the actual photo. If I didn't put the spacer there, it would have been touching and it would have looked bad. And then I put another spacer right here because the more news would have been like really close to this. So that's a good picture. Whoever took that picture, that's pretty cool. Okay. All right, guys. That's about it for the news. If you have questions, best practices, anything like that, just email me and I will ask my public affairs officer, how he does stuff and all that. And then don't forget to email them and let them know like what you want here. But for the time being, you can just delete that if you want, or put your other photos there. Totally up to you. So yeah. All right, guys. I hope that I explained all of this the right way. And I hope that you put some thought into it before you start, just because this news, like I said, this whole news system is going to be huge for your website. People are going to love it. So, all right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.